All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started here. We may have people joining us as we get going. My name is Heather Smith. I'm with NAZ Solar Electric. I'm the marketing director, and I will be handing this off to my team. So I'd like to introduce James Hall, who can wave really quickly. He's our engineering and sales manager. Teresa Umholt, who is our wholesale manager. I'd also like to introduce August and Chris with Pytes Batteries. They are up bright and early to be here with us in all of our different time zones to talk about their batteries. We're really excited to have them. And just wanted to tell you briefly about NAZ Solar Electric. If you're not familiar with it, we are a solar distributor in Flagstaff, Arizona. We do engineering, distribution, and support. We've been in the solar industry for over 40 years. And we are happy to be able to provide these kinds of educational information opportunities for all of our customers. We work with everyone from beginner DIYers all the way to experienced contractors. We engineer solutions, we distribute equipment, we provide technical support to clients all around the world, and we specialize in residential and commercial applications. Check out our YouTube channel, check out our Learning Center for additional content that we use to help keep you educated and up to date. And I am going to go ahead and turn this over to James to get the meeting kicked off. Thank you all for being here. We will email out a recording of the meeting sometime before the end of the week.
Yes, thank you, Heather. I want Teresa to start just to cover our wholesale and partner program. So I'm going to go ahead and let you start with that, Teresa.
Okay, well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I am the wholesale manager at NAWS. We've had this program for 2.5 years now, and we are happy to be able to partner with installers, dealers, resellers. Our wholesale program works with customers from beginning, solar installers, trainings like these, other more involved trainings for folks who are just learning and also utilizing the expertise of our engineering team are welcome to join our program. And of course, we love to work with very experienced solar installers as well. We keep a huge inventory of products available in our 3 warehouses in Flagstaff. And we can ship fast. You get personal service through this program and great pricing. So if you haven't joined the program yet, please look at that link on our website and send in your application. It's a super easy, fast application process, and we will get you going with great pricing. And yeah, my email should be there somewhere or will be on the slides that you get. So don't hesitate to reach out. It's also on the website. Thanks.
Yes, it's also in the spot where you apply for the partner program. Okay, thank you, Teresa. And now August is going to go ahead and talk about Pytes to begin with. So we'll go ahead and hand it off to August.
Yes, so hello everyone, hello, good morning or good afternoon, depending on your time zone. My name is August from Pytes Energy. And so before the introduction, I'd like to give everybody like an overview to the following presentation. So I'll start introducing about Pytes Energy and our products. And after that, I'll hand over to James and Chris, 2 intelligent people introducing a real case study regarding to our main product, E-Box-48100R, and Chris will introducing the troubleshooting and frequent asked questions. So I'll start from this page. So about Pytes story. We started 2 decades ago, so we already have 19 years of battery manufacturing industry experience. And at that time, I was only in elementary school, so pretty much a long time. Yeah, so now we have over 1,000 of employees, and as you can see right here, our factories. So on the top is our headquarters, Shanghai, and on the right side, here has 2 pictures. The top one is our cylindrical cells factory, and on the bottom part is our battery pack Shandong factory, and the left side is our factory located in Vietnam. can. Oh, actually, I want to also talk about our footprint. So like the total footprint here is 600,000 square foot, but we have like different floors, so spacious, quite spacious. And Pytes value, stay closely with our customers and build partnership and support them because we care about you, care about our customers. Usually we cooperate with our customers for over 5 years, or the longest ones can be over 15 years. So we can come to next page. Thank you. As you can see, it's a beautiful map. It's about where are we? So we are going to talk about from right to the left. We are located, headquartered in Shanghai, right here. And we have Suzhou R&D Research and Development Lab. And as we just talked about Shandong Cylindrical Cell Factory and our Shandong Pack Factory, and the factory in Vietnam as well. And let's go to the left side. It's our North American warehouses and office. So we have office in Seattle, and we warehouse in LA, Dallas, and Panama and Puerto Rico. Yeah, so we plan, it's our strategy that, it's our long-term strategy that we want to invest locally. So such as local company, local team, local support, and the local warehouses. So we can make sure the fast delivery and the on-time support whenever you are in need of help. Yeah, we can come to the next page. Right, so here we're going to talk about our product line. So our main 3 departments. The first one is e-bike. So we make battery packs for e-bike, e-scooter, and definitely the middle one is our amazing energy storage department. So we're going to talk about in detail later. And also 3C, we make cylindrical cells for such as personal care, like a electrical toothbrush and electrical shaver. Yeah, so let's talk more based on our energy storage. So as you can see the picture on the right side, the top one is our portable power station series. And on the left side is our low voltage series. So you are quite familiar with our E-Box-48100R already. So the white one right here. And the bottom is our V5. The battery can work in a wider range of temperature. So on the top is the cabinet designed for our V5 battery. And the middle one is our low voltage stackable battery. And on the right side is our high voltage series. We're going to talk about in tips later on. Go to next page. All right, so this is our superstar, our main product, E-Box-48100R. So you probably already know a lot of features about it, but I still want to highlight some features. So it's a low voltage battery, 5 kilowatt hour capacity, and so how we can make this battery stand out? We self-design the BMS. So whenever there's a struggle or there's a problem, like technical support from our customers, we can respond immediately, directly. So pretty efficient. And the second one is we already have all the certifications, such as UL 1973 and the UL 9540. And we also got the report of UL 9540A, thermal runaway and fire propagation. We passed the test. And to make sure that you are using our battery safely. Safety is our priority. And also, if you are in California, we have CEC and also SGIP for you. So that matters a lot. And besides that, this is designed for residential and light commercial, so which is very good for off-grid users. And let's see the next page we are going to talk about more. So, for example, you purchase the battery from NAZ Solar Electric, and you are super excited and you want to unbox it. So what you're gonna get? So first, definitely the battery and also the cables, either one, the longer ones or the shorter ones. Yes, the power cables, I mean. Yep, the short power cables between batteries. And also on the top is the communication cables in between batteries, and on the bottom is the ground cable. And also you're gonna get mounting brackets and user manual. Okay, go to the next page. Yeah, so we also design lots of enclosures for this superstar E-Box-48100R. So the first one is our box. Our box can hold up to two pieces of E-Box-48100R, and you can do wall mounting, or you can put it on the floor, or yeah, either way, but you have to make it against the wall. Yeah, we can do the next page. Another choice, so if you are in need of 3 batteries or 4 batteries, so our box OC is designed for you. And plus it is IP55, so which is outdoor rated. And as you can see the inside, so on the top we put 2 E-Box-48100R, and on the bottom 2 4800R. And on the top part you are able to wire, do the wiring, and you can see the bus bar is on the top as well. So let's go to the next page. Yeah, our Forest RB is also designed for E-Box-48100R, and for the customer, if you have a need over up to 6 batteries. So as you can see, we can the Forest RB can hold up to 6 batteries, and it is indoor rated. Yeah, it is. So let's come to the next page. But yeah, some customers might want to keep it simple. So we have choices for you as well. So first is the bracket. The front, we call it front and back bracket. So the bracket can do maximums. We suggested 4 batteries in total in one group. And if you want to do over 4, 5, 6, 7 to 8, up to 8, you can do the R bracket. So the R bracket is designed for the needs if you have like 8 batteries to put in one group. And on the side of our bracket, there are places designed for putting bus bar onto it. And for hub, yeah, if you want to do over 8 batteries and for different groups, then you need a hub to make sure the batteries are speaking the same language, they are communicating with each other. So hub is designed if you have bigger battery bank needs. Yeah, so Wi-Fi module right here, we also call it acquisition bars. So it is designed for remote upgrading and collecting information from batteries. Yeah, bus bar we already talked about, and the bracket is designed for Wi-Fi. Yeah, so here we come Wi-Fi degree. Our Wi-Fi degree is slightly different from E-Box-48100R in terms of the appearance. But yeah, it's still more beautiful, right? Which one do you like? So as you can see the appearance right here, we changed the antenna connectors into Phoenix terminals. So this can hold up to more current. So you don't have to wire a lot of cables and use the bus bars. So this can be used as bus bars. And the plus, if you can see right here in the middle of the battery, this is called LOT, Internet of Things. This is designed for combining the use with our Wi-Fi stick, so you can do the upgrading or get information from one battery. And this is using, there's a very big feature that I want to highlight is that this is designed for a wider range of temperatures. So I want to share the information with you that when the cell temperature is lower than, so colder than 41 Fahrenheit degree, which is 5 Celsius degree, the heat will be on. And when the cell temperature is larger than 50 Fahrenheit degree, which is 10 Celsius degree, the heat will be off. But when the cell temperature is colder than -4 Fahrenheit degree, which is -20 Celsius degree, the heat will never be on. So this is how we use it in the the different environments. And plus the scalability, we can do 16 V5 in one group and six groups with hub to make sure they are communicating. So 96 pieces of batteries in total, which is 492 kilowatts hour capacity. That is a huge system. Yeah. So for the certifications about V5, we're gonna have UL 1973 this month. So we're gonna share with you. We are also going to make, we're in process of UL 9548, the fire safety. That is very important. And we have a webinar for that as well, recently uploaded to YouTube. You can take a look as well. And we are in process of UL 1940 with SOARC, and also Lux Power and Megarevo and AP system, those inverters. So we can turn to the next page. Yeah, so we designed the V-Box OC for our E-Box for our V5 degree. So it looks like a little bit similar to our R-Box OC, their family. So this can hold up to 4 pieces of batteries, and this is outdoor rated IP55. Next page. Okay, so last but not least, we are going to talk about our high voltage 4800, our new product, which is coming soon. So for this, I want to share 3 main components of it. So this high voltage system will include a cabinet, as you can see right here on the left side of the picture, and also the BCU is called battery control unit on the top. And on the bottom are the 8 batteries in series connection. So yeah, so the design for high voltage battery is slightly different compared with V5 and 4800R, because we want to make sure the safety. So for opening, turn on the battery for V5 or 4800R, you just have to turn on the switch button, and also the soft switch. But here we have, did you see the handle on the right side with the red line? Yeah, that one is the isolation switch. So when you turn on the system, the first thing is to turn this handle down to make sure this is vertical. Then you can turn on the switch button and also the soft switch button to make sure the whole system started working. So yes, so we are having 8 pieces of high voltage batteries in one group right now, which is 40 kilowatts hour, but later on our upgraded version will have 13 high voltage batteries in one group, which is a 65 kilowatts hour capacity. And please note that that is very important. To start using this system, you have to have at least a minimum of 5 batteries to start functioning. Yeah, so for the certifications, we're gonna have UL 1973 in our Q4. And if you are coming to RE Plus SPI, you're gonna see all the products in our booth. So the booth number is 280. All right, so for our next pages, I'm going to hand over to James and introducing more about real cases installation. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to talk about the E-Box because right now this is really the flagship of Pytes and it's really the most popular product that we deal with. And so I kind of just want to go into the details and what makes this battery important for us, and really how it's used and the design concepts regarding, how to put it together, wire it and such. So this is a nice picture of the front of the unit here. If we go into detail, I think one of the most important things to stress about a battery, especially a battery in this price point, is the listing. It is super important for us when we engineer a system that it's going to be safe. It's going to be, a solution that we can stand behind. And that really, when it comes to lithium batteries, it requires the batteries to be UL 9540 listed, UL obviously 1973. Like a battery that doesn't have 1973 shouldn't be existing in this market at all. But UL 9540A is becoming even more important, and that's honestly, that's a fire propagation test, and it's really kind of showing that the battery is not going to catch on fire and propagate and cause a matchstick situation, and that's really important with respect to lithium batteries because everyone's concerned with the fire safety aspect, right? And so having these listings, 9540, 9540A, and 1973 is super important with our designs, and that's why we chose to go with Pytes for this type of battery. Also, it does help that they're on the CEC list for our California clients who are looking for approved solutions. This battery is on the CEC list as an approved product, and that's very important for clients that need that. Important characteristical considerations with respect to the design. So these batteries, this particular model is rated at a half C rate. So what that means with respect to charging and discharging is that the battery can deliver half of the total capacity value. So it's a 5.1 kilowatt hour battery, and so it can do half of that on its continuous output, essentially 2.5 kilowatts output, 2.5 kilowatts input, continuous. And that's an important design consideration. So if you're trying to put this on like a 10 kilowatt inverter, ideally you're going to want to have 4 batteries so that you can get that continuous output, the 10 kilowatts, into that inverter, right? That's the hypothetical consideration. Now we'll cover in a minute how to make that work, how to wire that. But like I said, this is a 5.5 kilowatt hour battery. It's very modular and it's very scalable, right? So, you know, you can put 6 batteries, for example, on everyone's favorite inverter, the Solar 15K, and that's going to give you, give or take, about 25 kilowatt hours usable capacity, maybe a little bit more. Typically would design around an 80% depth of discharge, but it is within warranty for Pytes. It is acceptable to do 90% depth of discharge. And that will give you the 6,000 cycles and the 10-year warranty. So you can even push even more energy through these batteries in that case, right? So the battery, it's a server style rack battery. It basically will fit in any 19-inch server rack as long as the depth accommodates it. And most of those server racks you can get from all sorts of different places. But we often sell these with the forest enclosure for indoor or the RB enclosure for outdoor. So if you're interested in enclosures, we often, have those in stock as well. So what is included, we already kind of covered this, but I think it's important to note that the E-Box has the battery to battery cables included with the battery. The cable that you'll actually need to purchase separately is going to be the inverter to battery cable or the battery to bus cable, and we'll kind of show how that works here in a minute. The connectors on this battery is a pretty common connector. It's fairly commonly used in this industry, and it's called a Surlock connection, manufactured by Amphenol. So we kind of just umbrella call them Amphenol connections, but the connectors are kind of interesting. They're rated for 120 amps. Okay, so each of the plugs on those batteries is rated for 120 amps, and each battery is capable of doing a half C output or 50 amps. So what we can do is we can take those battery to battery cables and we can parallel 2 batteries together here. So you can see we're basically paralleling 2 batteries together with these cables. And then we can carry 100 amps on the main bus cable up to a common battery bus. Okay, so you typically, if you're going to do 4 batteries, you typically get 2 battery to bus cables here, and you would use the battery to battery cables to parallel your batteries like that. So that will allow you to carry 200 amps continuous current with just 2 pairs of cables. And that's basically how you would do that. Now, there's a lot of scalability with these batteries, and you can, like we said earlier, you can do, the hub, we're going to talk about the hub, okay? The hub allows you to communicate multiple batteries together, and you effectively can do 8 groups or 7. Is it 7 groups, Chris? 7 groups? 7 groups. Anyways, we'll cover that here in a second. But the important thing is the modularity of these allows you to parallel on the battery cables and then run the inverter to battery cables up to a common bus bar. And we have a number of different bus bars rated for a number of different output currents. to support as large a system as you need, okay? What is probably one of the most important aspects of the lithium battery is closed loop communications. If you're doing systems nowadays with lithium batteries without closed loop, you're really missing out on one of the most important, like, 21st century aspects of lithium systems. All right. So closed loop communication allows you to essentially communicate between the battery and the inverter system. The battery is able to provide state of charge, desired charging voltages, desired discharging voltages, desired current input for charging, and maximum discharging current. These things are very important, and it allows you to track and guarantee that you're getting the most efficient and consistent charging, and guarantee that you have full transparency of what the system is doing. So your state of charge, your actual terminal voltage inside the battery, these are all very important characteristics that if you have an open loop situation, you're not able to utilize. So for example, you're charging a battery with an inverter that's pushing a lot of current. You're going to have losses all the way throughout until you get into that battery. The inverter can't see those losses. It can't tell what's going on. The closed loop communications basically allows the inverter to just push current until the battery says I'm full, and the battery says I'm full and shuts off the charger. So that's super important, prevents you from overcharging batteries or undercharging your batteries, and it just guarantees that you're getting the most efficient system. Now, I didn't say this, but with respect to the inverters that we offer, Solar, Victron, Focus, like these are really common inverters that the Pytes batteries can communicate with. So that's an important characteristic when, like, all your solar installations, especially your Victron projects, you know, if you're doing smaller systems with Focus, this battery certainly works really well. We've tested, we have a lot of clients using these batteries. They work well in closed loop with those inverters. All right, how does the communications work? Okay, so basically, whenever you're installing these batteries, let's just say you do 4 batteries or 6 batteries, you're going to take a communication cable, which is included with the battery, and you're going to go between link 1 and link 0. And you're going to do that all the way through on your group. So there's a maximum of 8 batteries per group. Anything more than that, you're going to start to use a hub, which we'll show in a second. But you're going to basically link your communications all the way down between your group, all right? And then on the master battery, the very first battery in the system, that's the one that's going to connect to your inverter, okay? And you're going to set the closed loop protocol on just the master battery. But it's really simple. If you're using any of the racks or whatever, to just use the communications that come with it and just daisy chain the communications all the way down like link 1 to link 0 as you go. The communication protocol is very simple. It's very easy to simply, all on the front of the master battery, you have a dip switch, okay? So you're just going to change the dip switch orientation for the inverter solution that you have. So if you're going to use Victron, for example, they're all going to be down, just like you see in this picture. Okay, if you're going to be using Solar, it's the DAE. DAE is the manufacturer of Solar, the contract manufacturer. So you're going to basically have number 2 up for Solar. It's so simple. All you got to do is just flick the right dip switch and you're good to go. Then all you have to do after that is just take a communication cable, and these typically use a proprietary cable, sort of like you can pin out your own connector, and we have integration guides that show you how to pin out your own connectors. But if you want to purchase the cable from us, we have already pre-pinned out cables for Pytes to Solar, Pytes to Victron, Pytes to Focus, so on and so forth. Now, you're just going to take from the CAN port on the Pytes, you're going to plug that into your Solar, and basically that's, for the most part, it. All you got to do, and then once you're in the Solar, and our team will be able to help you with this, is just go in and turn on closed loop communications, because the default protocol is all you use with Pytes. So you're just going to go in and turn on BMS communications inside the Solar settings, and again, that's something that our team can easily walk you through, and amongst many other settings. But you're going to go turn that on and power up the batteries. Well, you're going to have the batteries powered up anyways. Power them up, and you should start to see communications coming in on the Solar. Victron's very simple as well. So, like, what's really cool about the Pytes batteries is they have a 500 baud rate. So they communicate at a pretty fast rate, which means you can put them into the BMS CAN port and basically just go turn on the BMS CAN port communications, and then the Pytes are going to show up. It's going to pop right up, and it's going to say it's communicating. It's going to start showing SOC, and it's going to start showing the battery voltage, and it's going to turn on DVCC and start controlling the system. So very easy with Victron. You basically just plug from the CAN port on the battery to the CAN port on the servo, and then that just sets the whole system into closed loop communications. And again, when it comes to like setting the actual servo up, just call our team. They can walk you through it. It's really simple. All right, powering on the batteries, that is actually kind of interesting. So if you had a bunch of batteries, for example, in a row, what you're going to do is you're going to go flip on the switch to every single one of those batteries. You're going to set your protocol and everything that's already set up. You're going to go flick on that power switch to every single one of the batteries, and nothing's going to happen, ideally. After you switched all the switches on, you're just going to, on the master battery, on the very top battery, the one that has all your communications and everything, you're basically going to press that soft switch, the little red switch. You're going to press it for like a second, and then all of the lights on the battery are going to kick on. They're going to light up, and then it's going to go through a sequence that starts up all the batteries. So the main battery is basically going to start up all the other batteries. And then basically it goes through its startup procedure. And then after that, it's the run light's going to come on and it's going to show your state of charge, and that's pretty much it. So the batteries all will start up in one process. Now, like I was talking about the hub here, this is what's important. So if you're doing a system that's quite large, right? Let's just say more than 8 batteries, this is where you would need a hub, all right? So the hub is essentially used to facilitate communications between multiple groups of batteries. So a group of 8 batteries, up to 7 of them on the one hub, all right? That allows you to expand the E-Box to 286 kilowatt hours, okay? So the hub can be used for that. It does use its own communication cable, so if you're planning on using a hub, just let us know, and you need a different pinout on the cable. Other than that, it's pretty much the same process. You're just going to have a bunch of cables on each of the groups, and you're going to set them up just like that. All right, so the last thing I guess I want to talk about with respect to the Pytes is these batteries are very field serviceable. If you have any issues, the BMS boards are replaceable. Everything's kind of plugged on connections, the ribbon cables, everything is very easy to access. It's a modular design, so you can pull out a battery if you have any issues with it and pretty much bypass it and keep the system going and deal with the problem. We've sold thousands of these batteries and we haven't had one issue yet. So if that's any consolation, like these really are a pretty solid solution. They're a really solid solution, and we're really happy to offer them. Very easy to use, very modular, field serviceable. And if you have any questions about the product, our team can help you because many of our team are even using these on their own projects. But also Chris, I got to give Chris hands down. He is there to support and do like advanced troubleshooting, and he can help with diagnostics as well. So I'm going to pass this off to Chris, and he's going to go over my head with respect to some of the software component and the troubleshooting with respect to the BMS.
Okay, thank you, James. Hello everyone, I'm Chris. In this part, I will talk something about software and troubleshooting. Okay, next page. First, I will introduce something about the firmware of battery. It has 3 types firmware for different versions of battery, but as I know that what NAZ Solar Electric is selling is the C version battery with the latest firmware version 1.5.22. So don't be worried that you need to upgrade the battery you got. And for the C version battery, you could change the DIP switch setting to use the battery with hub or without hub. It's very easy than before. Okay, next page. And if it needs to upgrade the battery firmware later, what you need is computer, hub terminal software, RJ45 to USB control cable, and the latest firmware from Pytes. And that's all what you need. and the operation of firmware upgrade is very simple. You can download the upgrade guidance from Google Driver for more details. Okay, next page. And except the firmware upgrading, the software could also be used for checking battery information by inputting different commands. Next, I will show you some commonly used commands. In this page, when you input info command, which means the information, you will get the basic information of the battery like firmware version, release date, and the barcode, also called serial number. And when you input login debug, it will enter the debug mode. And after inputting the PWR SYS, which means power system command, you could find the state of health and also some information like recommend charge or discharge current and voltage. Okay, next page. PWR means power, could track the group power information like voltage, current, temperature, and so on. And if you input power, which the number of the battery, for example, PWR3, you could get the detailed power information of the third battery to track if it has system fault. Okay, next page. And if you want to track the power information of the battery cells, you could input BAT with the number of the battery to track the battery want. Okay, next page. Sometimes if you have issue and want to make sure if it had happened before, you could input datelist event command to track the history data. Only 50 pieces of data will be displayed each time. Press enter to continue and other keys to exit. Okay, next page. Okay, in this page, okay, next page. Okay, in this page, I will introduce the indicator light list, which I think is very important for our customers because over 80% of the issue could be found out by correctly identify the meaning of the indicator lights. When you turn on the power button and then press the SW button, all lights including the run, alarm, and the SOC will on for 1 second, and then it will off. And later only the run light will flash. That means the battery had been turned on normally. And when you press the SW button to turn off the battery, all lights will also on for 1 second. And then you could press the power button to turn off the battery. And when the battery is standby, if it's normal, only run light will flash every second and the other lights are all off. If it's alarm, the alarm light will flash every 3 seconds with the other lights are all off. Alarm may be caused by high voltage, high current, high temperature, and so on, which is a reminder before entering the protection state. And if the battery is charging now, in normal state, the run light is always on, and the SOC light will light based on the currently capacity. In alarm state, except the alarm light is always on. The other lights are the same as normal state. And when it's in protection state, except the alarm light stable lighting, the other lights will be all off. By the way, the protection state will only be released after the parameter return to the set value. Discharge is similar to charge. Okay, next page. After introducing the indicator light list, I will also share few common issues with its solutions. First, no indicator lights up after switching power button on the pressing SW button. Usually, this is because the operation of upgrading the battery is completed. before leaving the factory, which leads to abnormal battery startup. In this case, you could only need to enter the DLG command on the help terminal software after pressing the SW button, and then follow the upgrade steps to complete the firmware upgrading. And this issue will be solved. Okay, next page. SOC indicators of all new batteries in one group have a great difference. For this issue, what we need to do is fully charge those affected batteries separately until voltage reaches to 56.8 watts to complete SOC celebration, and then connect all the battery again to track the SOC of each one. Okay, next page. Indicators of the master battery or lights after starting the batteries or during the operation. The indicators of the master battery or lights means the communication of the slave battery is lost. So what we need to do is checking which battery has lost its barcode, which also means the serial number, and add it according to the serial number on the label of the battery pack. Okay, next page. Okay, the last one, alarm indicator is always light with beep. It usually means system fault. You could track the fault code on software, but usually we can't just rely on the code to judge the cause of the problem. Many other factors need to be taken into consideration. So when you have this issue, please contact with Pytes technical support for help. Okay, that's all.
Thank you, Chris. If there's any issues, you can always, with any of the batteries, you can always call our team and we can guide you in the right direction. What's really good about our partnership with Pytes, though, is if there are really any significant issues, which we really haven't dealt with, except for one of my colleagues, Doug, when we were, well, he likes to tinker, so he certainly did sort of mess up his firmware initially, and Chris steered him in the right direction to reset the firmware and get that fixed, right? So what's really nice about this partnership that we have with Pytes is that we do have good contacts that are quick to answer and can resolve any really major issues that might arise. But again, never had an issue so far with any of our clients. So if you do have any questions about the Pytes batteries, don't hesitate to give our team a call. And if you have any questions right now, you can put them into the chat or maybe raise your hand and we can turn on the mic for you. But if there are no questions, then I presume there will be some later and you're welcome to. Oh, look, we do. Mike, do you want to speak? Let's see here. Oh,
I turned on his mic.
Oh, he's muted himself.
Yeah, Mike, if you want to unmute your mic, we have you unmuted if you want to ask a question.
Yes. So Gary asked if the batteries are supported in the Caribbean. I think, Gary, we figured that out for you today. Pytes is going to stand behind their batteries no matter what. So they're going to stand behind us and they're going to stand behind you. So if you do have any issues, we will take care of you and Pytes will be behind us. We have another hand up here. Let's see here.
Yep. Gary, if you unmute yourself, I have turned your mic on. You can ask a question.
Yeah, hi, James.
Hi there.
I've got 3 Pytes batteries right now, the box batteries, and let's say in a couple of years I decide to add 1 or 2 more because my needs are growing. At what stage can you mix old batteries with new batteries?
Some degree. So this is an interesting topic of discussion. So if you think about it, each of these batteries kind of work on their own. They have their own battery management system, their own they're kind of working on their own. And so in theory, one would think, you can add these batteries progressively over time, and it's really not going to cause any issues. The reality, though, is at some point you will see internal resistances such varying. And so the problem is if you have a small battery bank and you do add another battery, you could see more current flowing into the battery with less resistance over time. And so it would affect to some degree the performance of the system. It just kind of depends on the scale, but generally it's accepted that over time you can add more lithium batteries. It's usually best to do it within a year or less. But I don't know, Pytes, do you have either of you, Chris, August, have any specific preference on this?
Only one thing, when you install the new battery with the old battery, what you need to do is charge the old battery at the similar SOC so that it will be balanced faster. That's all.
Yeah, so what he's basically saying is whenever you basically join them initially, they need to be at the same state of charge, which is typically fully charged. So fully charge all the batteries in the system, then join them and synchronize them, and you should be good to go. But if you understand the characteristics of the battery, it shouldn't really matter too much on the time period that you're adding them.
Okay, yeah, that's making a lot of sense where you would add them together when they're all at 100% state of charge. I'm just going with, the lead acid mentality of, you can only go so far before then it becomes a real problem and you can't really integrate them without any real problems with one battery affecting the other one, and cables will get heated and your efficiency will go down. But within the year, that's a good parameter to kind of use if, of course, depending on how much I'm using the system and how much I'm taking them down and how hard I am on my batteries. Of course, that will factor into it as well too. But the 1 year seems to be a good indicator of we should get to know what we're using our system for and how much we're going to need to upgrade within that state of time. So that was very helpful. Thank you.
Yes, no problem.
Thank you, Jerry. We're going to take Javon's question next.
Yes, hello, good night.
Yes,
Hello.
we can hear you. Yep.
We can hear you.
So I see a number of inverters that the Pytes battery work with, but I didn't really see the Midnight Solar. Have you guys ever tried it with the Midnight Solar?
So Midnight is working on, so I'm assuming you're talking about the Rosie inverter, right? Because that's really the only, are you talking about the SRNE inverters? Which ones?
I think this is a DYI.
So those are SRNE inverters, and Pytes does have communications with those inverters. It's not necessarily a supported thing through Midnight though, so it would probably be something that we would have to work with, Pytes and you on.
Okay, thanks.
Real quick, we had a question about the V5. When will it become available, and will it be compatible with the 48100R?
Like using them together? Let's see here.
Yes, will it be compatible, and when will it be available is the question from Gary.
Okay, so
yes, James, you want to go ahead?
the V5 degree, well, you guys are working, so it's going to have 1973 listing by this month ideally, but we I mean, you're welcome to place orders for them. I'm not sure what our stocking is going to be like until we have 9540. Okay, so our preference is going to be ideally waiting for 9540, just because from our design point of view, I can't stress more how important that is. However, if it's something that you want to take advantage of, I know for a fact that my colleague Doug, he's already got some. He's loving them. They're amazing to him. And so if you're interested in these, they can be procured once the 1973 listing is done. We can get them for you. And we will make them available. As far as joining them together, they're kind of a different battery. I don't think the communications is the same. They won't work together, right?
Yeah, well, we don't suggest the V5 and E-Box-48100R to mix use, so they are not able to communicate with each other. But yeah.
So let's just say they're not compatible with one another. You either go V5 or you go the E-Box, and that's going to be the idea.
All right, thank you. Anthony, I've enabled your mic. If you want to take yourself off mute, you can ask a question.
Let's see here. Well, go ahead and just type your question into the chat, Anthony, if you want, and we can try to address it.
So the question is, could battery cables, either B2B or B2I, be made from scratch? If the default ones are too small, then what other options are there in length?
Absolutely. So they use a 4-gauge wire, basically, and those connectors are readily available. We can even get you a link. You can get them off DigiKey or Mouser. They're a fairly common connector. If you purchase the batteries from us, we can get you a link to where you can buy those connectors and then basically crimp them on your own 4-gauge wire. We can even sell you the wire if you want. So not a problem. The battery to battery cables, well, you can make any of them. Like it doesn't matter. You can put a connector on both ends, or you can put a ring terminal on one end and the Amphenol connector on the other ends. It's easy.
And if you have follow-up questions, feel free to email James, the sales team, or chat live on the website. And Jerry, you had a follow-up question, it looks like. Go ahead, your mic is enabled.
Yeah, I heard that the E-Box batteries have a 10-year warranty on them. Is that something that I need to fill out a separate form for, or do I just use my receipt from NAZ to, potentially down in the future if that ever comes to it?
August, this is a good question for you. Well, okay, here's the deal. If you're going to have a warranty issue, ideally it'll come through us. And if it's going to be based off the serial number. Like, I don't think you have to register the batteries with Pytes. So the warranty is going to be associated with your serial number and your proof of purchase. Our team will be there to help you with any of the technical support aspects of it. But if we have to escalate it to a warranty situation, then we'll get Pytes involved. And at that point, it'll be a handoff, essentially, where they will try to figure out whether or not it just can be repaired, it's a serviceable issue, like it's a BMS glitch or whatever, or if it needs to be sent back to be evaluated further.
Okay, great. Thank you, James.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we have a few more minutes if we have any last minute questions. Just a reminder, it looks like we have a question from Anthony. Do the ESS cabinets have cooling fans included for temperature regulations within the enclosure?
They don't. Passive, August, I don't have your mic. Your mic's off.
Yeah. So the cabinets, they are natural convection, so there's no like cooling fans installed inside.
Yeah, there's no fans, no heaters either. So.
Yeah, for the battery V5, we're gonna have the heater pack underneath it, so you can use the V5 battery in the colder condition if that is your needs.
I mean, you can certainly put a fan in anything you want to. I don't think it's too big of a problem. You just want to make sure that it's you have good louvers and you're not sucking moisture in or whatnot. Where if and especially like if you're using the forest enclosure, which is an indoor enclosure, you're putting in like a garage or something like that, then yeah, you should be able to add a fan. There's a little bit of room inside that to be able to suck air, especially if you were to blow it out through the top or something. The top of the forest enclosure is like all bus bars and like it has plenty of room in it to be able to put in like a small server rack fan or something and a DC to DC converter if you wanted to power that directly off of, the 48, or if you wanted to run 120 volts into it, whatever, it shouldn't be too hard to add a fan. Gary, as far as the e-boxes are concerned, we have those readily available. We have tons of them here. They're constantly moving in and out of this place, and we're constantly sending orders and having resupply coming in from Pytes. So not an issue with those. The V5 will probably be the same way as soon as the 9540 listing is hit. That is currently what we are waiting for so that it can comply with all of our designs. But we certainly can get you an order for the V5s in advance of that if you want. Pytes has been gracious enough to be able to battery for us in the past. So if you want to try these, if you want, if that's your goal, then just let us know and we can make it happen. And it's not currently in the forecast for the E-Box to go obsolete. So that's not the intentions.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, August. Thank you, Therese. If you have more questions, please feel free to email James. It's james@solar-electric.com or Therese at solarelectric.com. I've dropped James and Teresa's email in the chat, so I'll give you a minute to scroll through there and grab those out of there if you like. I did drop in the chat the YouTube video. We did a YouTube video on the Pytes battery. It's on our YouTube channel. So just go to YouTube, find NAZ Solar Electric, and you'll see all of our videos there. But Logan goes really in depth on this battery and shows you a bunch of really cool stuff. So be sure to check that out. I will email that along with this webinar sometime before the end of the week. So you will have a copy of the webinar. And again, thank you so much for being here, for spending your time with us today. Thank you again to all of our presenters. If you have any other questions, just get a hold of us. And thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, team. Good job, everyone.
Bye.